Welcome to Rarran's Rumble, a tournament hosted by yours truly where I invited people from all over the card game sphere, featuring Yu-Gi-Oh players, Magic the Gathering players, Balatro players, and of course, Day 9. And the great thing about Rarran's Rumble is that Blizzard allowed me to use the brand new expansion, the Lost City of Un'Goro. That's right, not only are quests coming back, but all your dinosaur friends as well. But this is how Rarran's Rumble will work. I decided to pair up a Hearthstone player with a non-Hearthstone player. Each pair will have 3 different decks picked from the variety of classes in Hearthstone. But because there's only 11 classes, we decided the best way of doing this would be splitting Death Knight in 2 different classes based on its rune system. We then had each pairing do a draft deciding what 3 classes they will play that is unique from everybody else. Then each pairing had to build the decks for those classes, and then the tournament commenced. The first pairing we have is Nimnim and Simo. Both of them are Yu-Gi-Oh players, but Nimnim is actually a high legend standard player, meaning that pair should be very competitive in this tournament. We then have me and Cover Go Blue, who is one of the best Magic standard players currently. Hopefully his deck building skills from Magic the Gathering translate over to Hearthstone. We then have Voxy and Amy, who are both Magic players, but we're going to classify Voxy as a Hearthstone player because of how much Hearthstone she has actually played. Also, Amy wanted to be with Voxy super bad, so we just let it happen. Which means our final pair is Raffle and Day 9. And they might have a little bit of an advantage because both of them are Hearthstone players. Now, of course, when it came time to actually draft the classes each pairing wanted, the main thing we all looked at is the quests given to each class. If you remember playing in Journey to Un'Goro, this is basically the same kind of idea, but this time the quests are a lot more powerful. There's also a brand new mechanic, and it's called Kindred. Kindred is a really interesting mechanic that looks at the previous tribe or spell school and gives an additional effect if it matches it. Meaning if you're building only a Murloc deck, those tribe synergies are gonna go crazy. Simo and Nim got Mage and both variants of Death Knight. CGB and I got Warrior, Warlock, and Demon Hunter. Voxy and Amy got Priest, Hunter, and Paladin. And Day 9 and Raffle got Rogue, Druid, and Shaman. Each pairing came up with what they believed was the best deck for each class. And the only thing left to do was begin the tournament. The very first semifinals is between Day 9 and Raffle versus Simo and Nimnim. And believe me when I say this did not go how I expected. The very first match was the Frost Death Knight versus the Quest Druid. The Quest Druid is a really interesting deck because it requires you to fill up your board a lot for potentially a very big benefit. And even though Raffle was able to fill the board quite a bit, the onslaught of damage that Frosty K was able to deliver was too much.
Yeah, how dare they build a good deck in a tournament?
I know, it's embarrassing how hard they're trying. That's the only reason we would ever lose.
And you could probably guess the outcome of this game, considering that the Druid actually never completed their quest.
All right, good start. Good start.
Great start. Great start, man. Nice. Well done.
All right. A natural mistake.
All right.
Okay, that list was faster than our list, which felt fast.
I feel like, yes, I think that's faster than every one of our lists, and I think we're just going to have a hard time in that matchup with every one of our lists. So I don't feel bad about that one.
But Raffle and Day 9 were not going out without a fight, and therefore they queued up the Rogue. The Rogue in this new expansion is actually insane. Their quest requires you to shuffle a bunch of new stuff into your deck, and you become a brand new hero. And this hero is extremely powerful for Rogue. But is it enough to take down the Mage? The Mage quest is also really interesting because once you get the weapon, you get a ton of value over the course of the game. So it really comes down to, can the Rogue actually kill the Mage before it's too late? This was actually an extremely close game, and when you look at the board state multiple times, it looks like the Mage was gonna lose.
Now, we have 8 cards, so what we can do is we can...
Hero power to see if we get the eruptions. 1.
Okay.
Okay, wait, this could work too.
Okay, wait.
Oh!
Okay, wait, keep going. Don't stop. Don't stop. We're doing great.
Holy. Okay.
Okay, wait. Okay, we're gaming. We're gaming. Okay, hold on. We're still gaming.
God, they're still going. God.
Oh,
There's the
and dubious
I spoke about
purchase,
that
yeah.
one too.
Oh, we're very close to dying.
But fortunately for Mage, they have the power of RNG throughout Hearthstone's history, and therefore something spectacular happened.
Let's see what happens. That's not bad. Do we take the Waygate?
We do not have the mana to play the Waygate.
God, I want to win so bad, Rob. They're actually going through all the possible deviations right now.
If we take Frostbolt or Scorching Winds, it'll cast the Waygate. So
Oh, that's true.
That's huge.
That's huge, actually.
huge.
Wait. So take Scorching Winds. Okay.
Frostbolt. There's
I
no way.
cannot
Oh my
believe
God!
that just happened. Are you
No
fucking kidding me?
That is so unlucky.
Oh my God. What a way to lose. You've got to be kidding me.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah! We did it!
That's Hearthstone, baby.
Spectacular and arguably the best way Hearthstone has to offer, which leads us to our third game of the series. Nim and Sibo decided to queue up the mage once again for some kind of redemption, where Raffle and Day 9 decided to queue up their shaman. Shaman, in my opinion, has one of the more powerful quests of this expansion. It requires you to build some kind of menagerie deck, where you need to play 7 unique types, and your reward is something extremely good. You get Ashelon, which allows you to give every single minion an adapt of your choice, which is an older mechanic from the first Ungoro. Unfortunately, in this game, they got the taunt adapt, which against this particular mage isn't that powerful, considering mage wants to play a ton of spells rather than going through minion combat to hit face. And after an extremely long and grindy game, the mage was able to pick up the win, giving Simo and Nimnim 2-1 in the series.
You know what? Okay, this is what I want you to do. This is what I want you to do. I want you to use the Sizzling Swarm that's 3 and shoot ourselves in the face. It's like the only honorable thing to do.
All right. Well, here's
Watch
the
this.
problem. It's a guaranteed
cast it.
counterspell.
Yeah, it'll counterspell it and then play the Murloc Growfin to die to the explosive runes.
Yes, I was right there. I'm gonna hit you with a
Figured it out.
threaten first, though. That's the one thing missing from your
I
line.
love that. Yeah.
So we hit him with a threaten, shoot ourselves in the face, and then when that fails,
Ooh,
we still
calculated,
shoot ourselves in the
calculated.
face.
You know, I'm glad it's explosive runes because think of how terrible this would have looked if we.
I mean, they're still just it saves us the time of waiting for them to ping us in the face, right?
Raffle and Day 9 decided to re-queue up the Shaman for the 4th match, and Nimnim and Simo had to play their very last deck for the victory, the Blood DK. The Blood DK, as many of you probably know, plays entirely different from the Frost DK. This one is completely based about controlling the board, while you are also developing your very big starship to take over the game. And their quest for this expansion basically fits right into a control archetype. It just requires you to spend a ton of corpses throughout the game, and you get a very high valued minion as your reward. Luckily for Day 9 and Raffle, their quest reward gave them Divine Shield and Stealth, which should be pretty great against a Blood DK, but unfortunately for them, by the time their quest was actually completed, the DK ran them out of resources, and there was nothing more the Shaman could really do but just wait and lose the game.
All right, bro. Last pathetic card.
Draw your last pathetic card, Raffle. We're going to be raffling all
Pathetic
over.
card, Raffle. That's not gonna.
That's
cut
not
it.
going to do it. Good games. Wow.
That was a really well fought best of 3 swing face. Get him out
Crazy.
of here, bro.
Woo, man, that was a slog.
Really well played. I'm glad we got to see the full.
I'm glad we got
spectrum
to
of
see
their
him
decks
go
this
off.
time.
I'm glad we got to see him go off for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Raffle, it was valiant, but we have another goal, which is not to hit dead last.
We can make Rarran get dead last.
Oh, the opportunity of a lifetime.
It is our obligation.
Simo and Nimnim get the victory, and therefore they move on to the finals, while Day 9 and Raffle wait to see who they go up against in the 3rd and 4th place match. Which brings us to the other side of the bracket with Voxy and Amy versus CGB and me. Now, before I get into this match, we first have to understand that CGB and Voxy are both extremely competitive. Whoever wins this match is going to hold it over them for the rest of their lives, and therefore CGB and I were completely locked in. Voxy and Amy decided to queue up their Hunter quest deck first, and CGB and I decided to queue up the Demon Hunter quest deck first. Whatever one you feel like you're comfortable with, I would prefer getting a win first just to boost our confidence up and lower their morale. That's what I'm going for. Whatever you feel like comfortable with. Okay.
Got it. I queued up Demon Hunter.
And if you know anything about me, I absolutely despise Demon Hunter, but hopefully this deck would be able to win a couple of games. The Hunter deck is extremely interesting. It requires you to play odd cost beast, and when you finally complete your quest, not only do you get an 8/8, but you get a lot of value in tempo because it generates you very powerful beasts at a cheaper cost. Whereas the Demon Hunter quest doesn't really play for board, it's more about dealing 2 damage 15 times, and when you finally get your quest reward, it makes that 2 damage proc twice. So this is going to be a lot more about burning them out versus board, and it's going to be interesting to see if the Demon Hunter is actually fast enough. Unfortunately for CGB and I, we did not do enough damage quick enough, and the Hunter was on board too quickly, and we could not kill them fast enough before the Beast Onslaught took us out.
Oh my god.
Wait, well, we're not dead.
We have to kill them with steady shot. That would be so good.
I'm like hovering over steady shot. I'm so ready to click this.
Yeah.
No, you Chaos Strike here to see if you draw the asteroids in a row. That's our only out. We'd have to draw all 3. They all have to go face.
Where's your RNG, dude?
Arrowed. Got him.
Got him. Woo! You did it.
Voxy and Amy ended up winning the very first game, and therefore we will be trash talked for the rest of the tournament. But CGB and I were not discouraged whatsoever. We decided to queue up the Warlock deck, which requires you to play a bunch of temporary cards for something called the Underfell Rift. This Underfell Rift allows you to throw a card into it, and you get to summon 2 random Fell Beasts, which are extremely powerful minions. Whereas Voxy and Amy decided to queue up Paladin, which has a very Murloc quest. I mean, the whole point of the deck is to summon as many Murlocs as possible, because each time you summon 6 Murlocs, you give all new Murlocs summoned +1/+1, and that stacks. So the longer the game goes, the Murlocs will only get bigger and bigger, whereas we're hoping we can end the game sooner with our Fell Beasts.
I mean, we have to go somewhat fast, right? They're gonna
have to go
make
fast.
giant Murlocs.
We lose the late game as this continues going.
So we high roll here, right?
If you want to rip it, go for it. Okay.
Balls.
Now, if you remember Journey to Ungoro's Warlock quest, it is very reminiscent of this brand new one. If you're able to play a bunch of temporary cards, this card can single-handedly win you the game. But if you can't complete this quest fast enough, it feels like you're doing absolutely nothing with your deck. And unfortunately, the latter decided to happen in this game versus the Murlocs. And before we even knew it, the Murlocs were absolutely destroying the board. And sadly for CGB and I, we lost the second game, meaning Voxy and Amy are up 2-0 in the best of 5 series.
How do they still have 6 mana crystals? Is everything free?
We're done. Yeah, we're done.
Rock.
Hey, CGB. I'm gonna rock you.
How do you like them?
Rock your world! And die!
Woo!
We're so good! Revenge!
Yeah, let's go! Amy, you're
Oh, God,
a
next-
gamer!
Moxie, we have to play the free stake next.
Dang it, Amy, I was having a nice time. Okay, I wish you didn't ruin that for me just now.
Which leads us to our third game where Voxy and Amy queued up the Priest and CGB and I queued up the Warrior. Before we talk about how awesome the Warrior quest is, let's talk about the Priest deck. The Priest quest is a very interesting one where it has 2 quests and you get double the reward. One is for casting 5 holy spells and the other is casting 5 shadow spells. And if you end up completing both quests, you get one of the best minions I've ever seen in Hearthstone, which could win a game all on its own. But the Warrior quest was absolutely the right pick in my opinion for the draft because it is the most content-oriented quest I have ever seen. The Warrior quest requires you to basically just wait. And if you wait long enough, your prize is every single quest reward from Journey to Ungoro. That doesn't mean all of them are good, it just means you get every single one, which sounded extremely exciting. And listen, if I got to play Time Warp in the year of 2025, even if I lost every single game, it was entirely worth it. And obviously we were trying to build towards the quest, and therefore we were just building a control warrior deck. The Priest and Warrior matchup was actually extremely close. There was a lot of back and forth, but unfortunately the game actually didn't last long enough to get our quest reward. We died too quickly to the Priest, and therefore Voxy and Amy destroyed us in a 3-0 victory.
So take that out.
And then you can also, yeah.
And then I've got an easy Soletos. And I can even heal this taunt.
Oh, buddy, we are We're not looking very good here. Yeah, because they're gonna drop the yeah. Oof. Then they heal the 3/3. Oof. Oh, CGB.
Okay. How about that? Is that pretty good?
That saves us a turn. But we didn't really play any good taunt minions. But it's better than nothing, right? So we have to play it.
And I'll dream that back into their hand.
Right? And then where's
Yeah, and then the 2 cost.
or the
big
5?
damage.
Yeah, you see your awakens, right?
Yeah.
And
Wake
then
up,
that's
girl.
16.
Wake up, girl! Wake up!
Wake up!
Oh my god.
Let's go!
Undefeated!
Oh my god, the sweep!
That's right. 2 non-Hearthstone players destroyed me and CGB without us winning a single game. I don't feel good about it, but congratulations to Voxy and Amy, because they get to move on to the finals while CGB and I go up against Day 9 and Raffle for the 3rd and 4th place. And we're going to talk about that match first before we get to the finals. The first matchup is the Druid versus the Warrior. And once again, I truly believed that the Warrior quest would be one of the reasons why we could win this tournament. And honestly, going up against the Druid, I felt like the Warrior would have a really good chance clearing their board over and over again.
Oh, now Rarran is trying to survive 10 turns.
We should simply
Wiggle the
not
mushroom
let
a bit.
him survive 10 turns.
Let us make it 9 for branding purposes.
What do you think about Axe? We know this deck plays for board. Axe could be good on 3, but it's not ramp.
I don't like it. It's not ramp. It's not ramp.
Agreed.
Right, we had a strategy.
Agreed.
We get the ramp. Look what happened to me when I didn't ramp.
Okay, I want to AFK.
What?
Because as long as the Druid doesn't have a board to buff with their quest reward, I feel like the Warrior will be in a pretty good spot. But as the Druid game kept going on, it felt like we did not have enough removal in the deck, and Raffle and Day 9 were able to constantly fill up their board.
The dummy is kind of funny.
I do agree. But they're gonna get their quest here, no?
Is-
Wait, what? That auto completes on their turn. I'm sorry. What? That's how that worked? And constantly buffed their minions, meaning we ran out of removal and the Warrior deck lost once again.
Okay, this is good. The quest to send Rarran to the pits of hell is going effectively right now. It's going well.
Yeah, I was gonna say the good news is though, is at least this one was quick and easy, you know?
Oh, sure.
We just we go into the next
That's what
one.
That's what you want from your Warrior deck, to still be like 3 turns short of doing its quest.
That means Raffle and Day 9 are up 1-0 going into the second match. CGB and I decided to queue up the Warlock in the hopes that we were able to complete the quest fast enough to run through whatever deck they were going to play. Raffle and Day 9 decided to queue up the Shaman, and honestly, we felt pretty confident going into this because the Shaman does need a lot of time. Fortunately for us, we were actually able to complete our quest by turn 5, and on turn 6, the Fell Beast started coming out.
Wait, that has charge? Oh, God.
Taunt Reborn, Charge Elusive? Oh, God.
That was nasty.
And before Raffle and Day 9 could actually stabilize against us, we were able to put enough damage on the board and actually kill them, meaning the Warlock got a win against the Shaman. It's GG, buddy.
Come on, baby!
Woo!
Oh,
Let's
yes!
go!
Yes! Yes! No, we were not swept out of this one.
Oh, lovely game. Okay.
No, we lost!
They went 3 for 3. I do not know how many Fell Beasts there are. They went 3 for 3 on the rush or the charge guy.
Oh, God, we can't lose to this!
The series is now tied up 1-1 with Raffle and Day 9 re-queuing up the Shaman and CGB and I queuing up the Demon Hunter. Again, as a non-Demon Hunter player, I was struggling to play this deck well enough. And even though I do think I was playing the deck moderately well, I was not aware of Shaman's game because this tempo swing is absolutely disgusting.
Now, if we coin to the face, yeah,
Okay.
Coin shoot in the face for
Wait.
5?
You know, now that you mention it, I don't see why we wouldn't do that.
Yeah, there it is. All right. Oh, who's the one dealing lots of pairs of damage now, Rarran?
And unfortunately, in our deck, we don't have a great way to deal with a bunch of tiny minions that actually deal a lot of damage. And shout out to Day 9 and Raffle for figuring out this combo.
We just run it back, right? Oh, I love it.
Because Sizzling Swarm easily won this game with no questions asked, and Raffle and Day 9 took the victory over the Demon Hunter, and therefore they were up 2-1 in this series.
Yeah!
Oh, man. Whew.
Ooh.
One
All
more.
right.
One more.
Feels
It's
good.
all in the hands of Turtle Power now.
Feeling absolutely zero confidence in the Demon Hunter, we decided to queue up the Warrior first in the hopes we were actually able to get to the Ungor requests, where Raffle in day 9 had no choice but to queue up the Rogue. The Warrior actually felt more adequately built to deal with the Rogue than it was for the Druid, which surprised me. And even though it felt like the Rogue was putting on a ton of pressure, me and CGB decided to go for the winning line. So it's Sleep Under the Stars,
Yep.
refresh mana 3 times. The question is, are you confident enough that we're going to win the 4 out of 5? Because we need to deal 5 damage to everything. That's the only way we're surviving here.
Oh, we'll win that.
Okay.
I'll lock it in. We always win these.
They want refresh.
Oh, they just wanted the hand space and the corrupt.
Yes, they get all 5 dream cards, so they're just going to play the deal 5 to everything.
I imagine so, yeah.
I believe.
We didn't get it.
What? Oh my god.
Wait, they shuffled for us? Wait a minute.
Wait, hold on.
Oh, is it lethal? Did we do it? Oh my god, we did it.
Power. Oh, Raffle, this is the greatest day
Oh.
of my life. Oh, yes. Look to the heavens. Oh my god. Is there a winner interview? Is there a speech?
I think-
Actually, you know what?
We
Raffle,
need to get on that podium. We need to celebrate.
You know what? Let me
break out the
I'm gonna
champagne?
interview you right
Okay.
now, Raffle. I know that you have been training for ones of hours for this event. What does it feel like to come out on top of Rarran after putting in all that work?
You know, I can't help but feel that nobody is more deserving of that 4th place spot than Rarran himself. So I'm just grateful that we were able to bring karmic justice to this world.
It feels good, yeah. Now, as a follow-up, is there something you'd like to say to all your fans that in about 4 to 6 weeks we'll be cheering you on now that the videos are published?
Right, yeah. I just want to thank them for believing in not only me, but also I had a great co-pilot in day 9. And with the energy that you sent me from the future, we were able to put Rarran in his place in his own tournament.
God, you know what? I actually feel bad for Voxy, Amazonian, Nimnim, and Simo in the finals,
Right.
battling for first place.
What's even the point?
Man, I feel like I'm going to say it. I think Blizzard was out to get us today. I'm going to be honest.
Dude, it was brutal.
I feel like the RNG there was so rough. Like, oh my god, like the Warrior just fell flat every time. Sadly, the RNG did not work out from salad dressing, and throughout this entire tournament that I am hosting, by the way, we only got 1 win. Regardless of the outcome, we had a lot of fun, and so did Raffle in day 9, but we have no time to meander because we're going to the finals. Nimnim and Simo, both Yu-Gi-Oh players going head-to-head against Voxy and Amy, both Magic the Gathering players. Simo and Nim decided to queue up their Blood DK first, as it seems to be one of the best decks of the tournament. It only made sense to start off with what you believe is the best deck to gain your confidence and hopefully get a swift 3-0. Whereas Voxy and Amy decided to queue up their Hunter, which also for them has been a very good deck. The start of the game, the Blood DK was in an early lead. They got the board and the Hunter looked like it was faltering and not being able to keep up. But as soon as the quest was finished, the Hunter was able to come back on board and start applying a ton of pressure.
Yeah, I believe.
What do we get?
Oh, that's a thing.
Oh, interesting. That's a good card. They get all our minions.
Oh, so then they get our minions?
Yep.
Interesting. That's kind of annoying.
He found that.
Oh, and
They
then he gets to
found that.
re-rush.
They got
Cute.
that off a shock. That's really lucky.
But no matter how big the beast got for Hunter, the DK had more than enough removal to handle it, and it was like the meteor hit Earth and destroyed all the dinosaurs. Every single time the Hunter felt like they had a board that was gonna stick, another meteor came from the DK, ending all confidence Amy and Voxy would have had.
All right, and then ready? We go launch. We go play the guiding figure, orbital moon. Trigger this death rattle a couple times, handful of times.
That's so gross. That's so gross.
There's a 10 drop. There's a 10 drop. That's a 10 drop, if you believe it or not. And then it happens again. There's a 10 drop. And Alex, there's a 10 drop. You know.
Oh my god. This is just so nasty.
And I'm just going to go face and...
And this game actually went all the way to fatigue with the Blood DK taking the victory. Simo and Nimnim are up 1-0. Going into game 2, Voxy and Amy had a ton of confidence in the Hunters, where Nim and Simo decided to play the Frost DK. The Frost DK, just like the Blood DK, has also looked really good throughout the entire tournament, so it's going to be interesting to see which deck is actually going to take the win. Immediately, the Hunters started taking the board, and it looked like the DK was actually faulting under the pressure because it doesn't have as much removal as the Blood variant. Fortunately for the Frost DK, they were actually able to stabilize before the Hunter quest was finished. By the time Voxy and Amy got their quest done, they were only at 7 life. And if you played against the Frost DK before, that is not a place you want to be. And after the quest was played for the Hunter, it did not matter because the Frost DK swung for lethal, meaning Simo and Nimnim are up 2-0. Going into game 3, obviously Simo and Nimnim had to queue up the mage, where Voxy and Amy decided to queue up the paladin. The Murloc force was in full power as this game went on for a very long time, and the longer the game goes, the scarier these Murlocs get.
Oh, Grungy. Oh, no.
No,
That
but no
stinks.
summons.
And as much as mage can delay the game, if they cannot win it, these Murlocs will eventually take it over. And that is exactly what happened. Also, Grunty is kind of broken in the paladin quest deck. I know he might be considered one of the worst legendaries now, but just wait until this new expansion comes out. And because of the insane tempo that the Murlocs were able to bring throughout the game, the mage was failing to keep up with it, and even getting very fortunate with some RNG and discovers. It was no match for this Murloc army, and congratulations to Voxy and Amy for beating the mage.
Of course. Okay,
Oh
it's
my
fine.
God.
It's fine. It's fine.
You're good.
It's fine.
Smack face.
It's fine.
Smack face
It's
some more.
Okay.
Fish.
All right.
Food.
So,
All right, go back to beast.
Beast, right?
The score is now 2-1, and Voxy and Amy still have to win with 2 of their decks in order to beat the Yu-Gi-Oh players. They decided to queue the Hunter, which in hopes would overcome the mage and allow them to get to the game 5. And immediately the Hunter was able to get on board and start applying some pressure to the mage, but the mage actually has a ton of removal, and unlike the Murlocs, these beasts don't scale. So as long as the mage can keep up the removal, they should be in a good spot. Voxy and Amy unfortunately had a very weak turn 6, which allowed the mage to get them extremely low.
Oh! Oh, that's...
That was really good.
That's... Okay.
Okay. So, Alex, hear me out. We can kill this turn. If we get
We can kill
if
it.
we Grifta and we get the take, we can take
The
it
amulet?
and then Frostbolt for game. How do you feel? I think we're lucky enough to hit it.
How likely are you to hit
You're
the
like
amulet?
33% chance to hit an amulet proc.
To hit, like, any of...
Any
wait,
of
so, like,
and-
how many amulets
so
are there?
There's 7 amulets, I think. The thing is, even if we miss,
And you
we
hit
can
3 of
Sleet
them.
Skater and freeze the 10.
To freeze it.
So like we never.
Okay,
die.
we have that as backup. We have that as backup.
Yes, so
okay,
let's go
that's
for the
fine.
kill.
Let's do it.
Let's go for
for the kill.
Passions, we did it!
We got it!
did
We got it! We got
That's
it!
it,
We got it! We win!
That's it! It's
Thanks for the 10-10!
Oh my goodness!
Oh my god!
King
Insane!
Flush for the victory!
Woo!
The Yu-Gi-Oh players take
Thank
it!
you! Thank you!
Let's go! Well played!
GG's!
Well
High five to the camera, buddy!
played.
Woo!
Boom! That's what I'm talking about, big
Oh
guy.
my god!
Woo!
Meaning the winners of the first and probably the only Rarran's Rumble is the 2 Yu-Gi-Oh players, Simo and Nimnim. Let's have a quick interview with the winners. Congratulations, guys. You won the very first Rarran's Rumble. How do you feel? Let me know what you're going through.
Oh my god. We are on top of the moon. You know, everyone who wants to just rag on Yu-Gi-Oh players, we got it. We got it. But Gage was the anchor for sure. If it wasn't for Gage, this would have been really tough.
Yeah, they claim us Yu-Gi-Oh players. We have trouble reading, but look, when the cards only have like 2 lines of text, it's really hard
You know
not to
what?
digest everything on
I
it.
100% agree with you. 100%. Reading actually does help you win, and therefore you won the tournament. We could just say that's the claim. Can you go through your draft real fast for people who are curious why you picked those classes?
So
Yeah.
Nimnim and I, we sat down and we made like a sort of like best to worst ranking list of like what we thought of all the different decks. And we thought Mage was cracked. So, and plus I played Mage like back in Classic. So I thought it'd be a lot of fun to play Mage. So I first picked that. And then we had, I forget, Gage, you might remember, but I think we had Warrior, Rogue, and I think the Death Knight.
Yeah, I think that was our like top 4 right there, though. Alex really wanted the mage, and I said, you take it because it's pretty cool. But then we got stuck on like Death Knight duty after that. We got the BBU Death Knight, and then we also got the Frost one we had to do.
But the Frost one ended up being pretty good for what it's worth. It ended up being this very low to the ground aggressive deck. Yeah, but the Blood Knight one was just absolutely ridiculous. You cooked with that deck. That was crazy.
Yep. I was saying with the other people that deck was probably the best one of the entire tournament. It seemed like it didn't seem like it could lose. So good job on that, man.
Thank you. Yeah, you should have saw like if the day before when we first built the deck,
it was not good.
I put them together and it was not a good build. I just didn't even think of the starships. I was like, I'm gonna put Sneed's old Shredder in and have a laugh and stuff like that. Yeah, and I was like, I should probably win. So I changed it to starships and it worked perfectly. Right, pulling out those pieces from the deck with Cultist, a lot of fun and it works really well.
Okay, awesome, dudes. Congratulations. Thanks for being a part of this. If you got anything
Thank you for hosting such an awesome event. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you, Rarran. This was a blast to play in.
If you got anything to say to anyone, because you guys will be the final thing in the video, feel free to say anything you want to say right now.
Yeah, I'll go first. Check me out over on Twitch. I stream a lot of Hearthstone and Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. You know what? I'm jack of all trades. That's what they call me. I'm live at Nimnim. You guys can catch me there.
I just want to say thank you, Rarran, for hosting such an awesome event and inviting me to be a part of it. It was a lot of fun to work the different card game muscles and actually prove that, you know, we can, us Yu-Gi-Oh! Players, we've got skills in other games. So thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you guys so much for watching Rarran's Rumble. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like and subscribe. And shout out to Blizzard for allowing me to host this wonderful event with everyone that I make content with. Make sure you check out the new Ungoro expansion coming to Hearthstone in early July, and I'll see you guys in the next one.